Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are back in our own garden and we're doing yet another garden tour. I know it seems like we've been doing tours back to back, which we have, but we are getting ready to plant our trees for this fall. And I just thought, like, we can't just plant trees and not show you what's been going on back here. Like, it's a lot has happened, and I think last time you guys saw it, there was nothing really in place. The sod wasn't laid down. I don't think they saw the grass, did they?
Nope.
No, so you guys haven't seen the grass yet. We made our beds and we did want to record that video or that process, but we were literally like doing it in between work and after work and working on it late, so it wasn't practical to film. But we will do a separate video at some point to talk about how we made those beds, because we did put a lot of thought into it. So anyways, I'm really excited to show you guys the cut flower garden. That's like my favorite part right now. It's thriving, but I know it's not going to last long. But either way, I just wanted to show you guys how it turned out. We're going to start off in the back here, in the side garden, then we'll make our way to the very back. So let's get started. This is going to be kind of like the catch all space. This is kind of what we're treating that area. This is going to be the last space that is going to be done, because we have contractors coming in and out. We still have the fence we're going to be redoing. Again, that will kind of be the last thing that we do. But in the meantime, this is one of our holding areas for all of our plants. So we did get rid of a lot of our things. We gave a lot away to family and friends and our neighbors, which has been really, really great. But you'll still see, like, there's some trees on this side, some shrubs, hydrangeas. We still have a ton of roses and peonies in the front. Our figs, most of the figs that we're keeping are back here. And you can see we kind of Jimmy rigged this irrigation system, because you guys know I've been talking about how before it was really hard to leave to do anything because we didn't have irrigation set up. So we really just tapped into our irrigation, and you guys can see right here, we have 1/2-inch tubing, and each tubing has like a 4-gallon emitter little connector to it. And we leave it on for about 15 minutes. So I know this is not like the prettiest thing, but again, this is a space that we just really like have our plants hanging out. And it's been such a lifesaver. Again, I know it's Jimmy rigged. It's like not the prettiest thing, but it's helped a lot. So look at this place. Doesn't it look so much different than it did before? So we finally have grass. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's like exciting for me, but it's Sergey's prized possession. I talked about this before in our last video, but we went with that tall fescue. So you can see it's a lot darker. The blades are a lot thicker than, what's the other grass?
Ryegrass.
Yeah, the ryegrass. So this one is a lot better, and we have our sprinklers going to them, so it's been really great having it. So if you guys remember, this area was just like a nursery. I think you've all have seen the before, how everything was kind of just hanging around. There wasn't much going on. I think one of the biggest things that helped this view was removing that cherry tree that was here. And it was a great tree, right? Like, we liked it and all, but it would kind of do this funky thing towards the end of the summer, and it wasn't great. So we decided just to remove it, and I'm so happy that we did, because it really opened up the entire space. And you guys, I'm a proponent of, if you don't like something in your garden, don't try to grow to love it. I promise you, it's like it takes more energy to try to grow and love something than to just take it out and replace it with something that you love. So I'm so happy that we did this, because it really opens up the view from all angles of the garden, and it allows us to see the cut flower garden from everywhere we are inside of the house, which is so nice. So before we move on to the cut flower garden, the other thing that I wanted to put over here is a nice big arch. So it's going to be this black arch. We're not sure where we're going to get it from yet. We're still like shopping around. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section. But what I want to do, if we take a step back, I want to have 2 big containers kind of flanking this area and the arch. And the arch will have climbing roses on it. I think that will be so beautiful. It will just kind of be like a welcoming entry to the back garden. Because if we look on this side down here, eventually this is going to be a path. So we're gonna create like a stone path back here. The sides will be planted up with trees and shrubs and just some more beautiful things over here. Again, this will be the last part of the garden that will really take shape. And then we will continue planting things around the border. So again, more shrubs on this side. Basically everywhere where you don't see grass or the cut flower area, it's gonna be filled with trees and shrubs and perennials and annuals. So that is the big goal for this kind of entryway. That way you're kind of distincting, like this is one garden, this is one garden, this is part of a garden, and it all ties in together, but at least every space feels intimate. So for the beds, we ended up going with a really short profile bed. And I've talked about this a little bit before. And again, we'll do a video on why we chose these short beds. But it really took a lot of time to level everything, because even though we graded the garden, it's still kind of sloped down a little bit. And you guys, I mean, it's probably difficult to see that, but it's because we worked so hard to make sure it was perfectly level. Sergey and our neighbor, they just spent so much time leveling it perfectly. So I'm super excited about that. One of the things you'll notice right now is we have some really heavy duty fabric in the pathways. And we've been waiting for the crushed granite that we want to arrive, because so many places have been out of it. So we're still kind of debating if we're going to do crushed granite or gravel. I love the look of crushed granite, but I also love the sound of walking on gravel. So we're kind of like in a little dilemma here. And then the borders will be a metal, and it'll be kind of like it'll just be like pure metal, and it'll patina over time. And we really like that rustic look, and I think it'll look so beautiful with the dark beds that we've stained. Now I did want to talk to you guys about each bed individually and why we planted the things that we did in them. So the furthest bed over here is the ones with the Rudbeckia, the Chinese forget-me-not. We also have some foxglove, but those are biennials. Those won't bloom this year. And actually I'm gonna transplant all of these into the landscape next year. So they're just kind of a holding area this year. And these are Chinese forget-me-not, and I grew these as a filler, and also because Frank Sinatra has a song with, I forget the name of the song. Am I making this up? No, he does. There's a lyric in one of his songs about walking through a meadow and picking forget-me-nots, and it was just kind of an ode to him, but I love these so much. They're so pretty, and look at the bees. The bees absolutely have been loving it. I grew these specifically for a filler, but I think they would also look really good in the landscape. The other the other flower that I really have been loving this year is the Rudbeckia the Sahara mix. So these are from Floret, and just look at how beautiful these are. It's kind of got that dusty rose peachy color. This one is more yellow, and they're all different. They all look so different. Like there's not one identical one. This one over here looks a lot like a sea anemone. Look at that. How cool is that? I love these, and I almost feel too bad like picking them, because they're just so pretty and the bees have been enjoying them. So I kind of just let them hang. I will be harvesting them soon, just because we are going to be getting some cold temps here pretty soon. So anyways, really beautiful. And out of all of the beds, this one probably gets the least amount of sun. As we get further to the middle, those beds get full sun. The second bed over here is the Zinnia. There's some calendula and some cosmos in this bed. And I just kind of went crazy with Zinnias this year. They've been such a big hit. This is the little flower girl mix from Floret, and this is my favorite variety right now anyway. Just really beautiful. There's so many just different soft tones, which is kind of like my favorite color palette. And then I wanted to do the softer colors in the front and more of the brighter ones towards the back. And then these of course are some of the bigger ones, the Queen Lime ones. And look at this one in particular. Hold on, I wanted to show you guys this. Is it this one? This one. This is one plant, but look at how many stalks it has on it. And this is all thanks to pinching. I pinched our Zinnias, and they totally like it totally pays off by pinching. I didn't pinch all of them just because, again, I planted like most of our flowers the first, what was it, like the first week of August, right? Is when I really got everything planted. So I mean, it hasn't been very long since they've been growing, but I'm glad I did what I did, because even though it'll be a short time, I'll still get to enjoy them. And then the cosmos over here are just so beautiful. I'm obsessed with cosmos. Look at this gorgeous white one over here. Like, don't sleep on cosmos, you guys. They're so beautiful, such a good filler. They're just so delicate. Look at that. The bees absolutely love these so much, and they're so pretty. And look at all of the heads that they have in each one. And I didn't pinch these either. These are just like, I just put them in and I let them go, and they're just thriving. I didn't. I told Sergey, I was like, I don't think anything, I was actually crying. I was like, I don't think anything is gonna grow. I was so sad about it. Look at this little one right here. I think this might be the lemonade one. So pretty. But yeah, I was a mess, because after I planted everything, I like 3 days later, I was like, nothing's happening. Of course nothing's happening, because it takes time for things to sprout, but I'm just so impatient. So anyways, this bed over here is interesting, because this was supposed to be where we grew like some of our tomatoes and some other veggies, but flowers won. Like, when it came down to it, the flowers won.
Claudia won.
Yeah, Claudia won this battle. One of the flowers that I have been enjoying a lot this summer are these Snapdragons. And these I actually purchased at a nursery. And this is, I think, their fourth bloom cycle. Like, they've been blooming so pretty for us this whole season. Let me grab the tags here. Let me tell you guys the exact name. So this pink one is just the Liberty Classic Rose Pink. And then this orange one over here is really beautiful. There's a lot of like hot pink and orange in this one. And this is the Classic Bronze. So I know a lot of people ask, like, how do we, or we get this question a lot anyways on like Instagram and Facebook, but how do we keep our Snapdragons from not toppling over? And I really don't do anything special. Like, I don't put netting on, which is something you can definitely do, is put down netting, like the 4-inch netting with the squares. That will help with Zinnias, Snapdragons, anything that kind of has that shape. But when I cut our Snapdragons, I come down and I'll cut super, super deep. Like, I'll come in here and cut all the way down close to like the base of the plant. And I think that is part of it too. Like, that's what, to me, in my opinion, gives them these nice, strong stems that they have. So these have been so fun. We also have some straw flowers growing, a little bit more zinnias. I think I grew the Envy variety. They're kind of a green lime variety. We also have some amaranth over here, which is doing pretty good. And then we have the sunflowers, which I love sunflowers so much. I'm so excited about these. Obviously not as many as I would have liked to grown, but either way, they're super beautiful. Then right back here is the celosia. This is the terracotta mix. And I actually really love these. I typically don't, like, I've never grown this variety. I usually like the ones that just drape over, like the one on the other side. But this one, this is more of an upright structure, and it's doing so good. I mean, ideally, they would have been a lot bigger by this point, but again, because we planted all of our flowers so late, they're kind of just doing this, which is totally fine. I'm still enjoying them. I started these from seed indoors, and you guys have seen our seed starting room. I wanted to show you guys this. This is really cute. This one toppled over, and I was just gonna pull it because I wasn't diligent and staked it back up, but I just let it go. So look, all of the babies are just growing this way from the main stem. And I just left it because the bees are like, they're loving this so much, and I didn't want to take any food away from them. So I've just been letting them go, and they've been super fun to grow, super easy to start indoors. And before you know, we're going to be starting some seeds all over again. So anyways, let's get to the fun part, the dahlias. So now the dahlias. I have been enjoying these beauties so much. Like, this is the start of my day. Before I go to work, before I start work, I come outside and I take a look at them. I walk around and I just look and admire them. We did lose about 100 tubers, which is like, it's crushing to the soul. But we did start them pretty late, but we did start a lot of them in trays. But it's okay. Like, you win some, you lose some, and either, like, regardless of losing them, I don't even know where I would have fit them. Like, there's obviously a lot of them here, and I planted several in the landscape in the front. So I losing 100, I thought, like, well, where were they gonna go anyway? So anyways, the dahlias, I planted them in a way that you're not supposed to. Ideally, you want to plant them about 12 inches apart, or 12 to 18 inches apart on either side. So for us, we did 3 rows of dahlias. So the beds are 4 feet wide and 16 feet long, and we have 7 of them. And I did 3 rows of dahlias. I didn't pinch them, which again, I don't recommend you do that. Like, I totally am a proponent of you pinching your dahlias because you just get a stronger plant, more blooms, bigger plant. But I figured because it was so late in the season, I didn't want to do it. But you guys, like, they're thriving. I kind of want to try the 3 rows again, right? Like, Sergey and I were talking about this, and
you're gonna have to.
Like, I think I have to accommodate all of the ones that I ordered. So, but I mean, some of them are not really doing anything. Like this one over here, it stayed pretty small. It probably just got toppled over by all of the other ones that grew faster, which again, it's fine. Like, it's gonna be okay. I'll have the tuber for next year. But let me show you guys some of my favorite varieties. So this little area here, there's some ones that didn't come up, and this is because these were from the Discovering Dahlia seedling mix. So I got these from Floret, and these haven't bloomed yet, and we have no idea what they're going to look like, which to me is like one of the most exciting things about this whole journey about growing dahlias from seeds. As if you don't know, when you grow dahlias from seeds, there's no true variety. A lot of times it's a new variety. When you want the same flower, you'll grow it from tubers, but when you're trying to hybridize or come up with new varieties, typically you'll grow it from seeds, and then you'll continue testing them for years before they go out into the market or do whatever it is that you want to do with them. So these came from the Discovering Dahlias book launch, and Aaron sent this out to all of the people who did pre-orders. So this one over here is almost blooming, and I'm really excited to see what that's going to look like. But I, like, every day I get up to see if if they've started, and I want to help it open, but I'm not going to because I don't want to ruin them. But this right here, the Cornell, typically don't grow red in my garden, but for cut flowers, I do. I think they're very beautiful. And this is, if you're looking for a true red, like a just a beautiful, rich, kissable red almost, this is the one for you right here. There's also one over here called Seattle, which kind of pays homage to our love for that city. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it's actually like one of my favorites. It's got that yellow with the white tips on it. Really pretty, really good size flower. And Sergey, right behind you is a beautiful purple. And this one is called Lilac Time. And she is gorgeous. Look at that. Perfect purple, perfect lilac. It's got nice long stems, really strong stems, especially for the flower that it's holding. Let's see, we have Rip City, which is just a favorite of mine. One of my favorite varieties. It's just like a really good classic burgundy. It photographs really well. Another cute one is this Cutie Patootie, pretty small, but she's really cute. And I'll do a video too, talking about some of my favorite varieties for the season. But my favorite one, I'll meet you over there, Sergey, is this one over here called Peaches and Cream. So not to be confused with Peaches and Cream. This is just Peaches and Cream. Look at that beauty. She starts out kind of like this peachy rose, like dusty rose color. And then she blooms to look like this. And then look at the back of this one. How pretty. It almost looks like she got a blowout or something. She went to the salon and she got her hair done. Look at, look at that, so pretty. Another really cool one over here is this, I think, Vincent's Obsidian, I believe. And it's this really gorgeous dark one. Look at that. How cool is that? Look at that. The petals just kind of like fold in, but look at that beautiful color. It's so dark, it's so pretty. It's going to be perfect in fall arrangements. But yeah, oh, well, sorry, one more. I'm just so excited. I want to continue with the dahlias. This one here is another favorite of mine. This is Valley Porcupine. I mean, you guys, look at that. Are you kidding me? Look at how pretty this one is. It literally looks like little porcupines. Oh, look at this one right over here. This one is called, I think, Gets Crazy or Crazy Legs. I'm not sure. I'll put the name on the screen, but look at that. It's got 2 heads. How cool is that? Like perfectly good stem. I love when they do stuff like this, when they mutate like that. That is so cool. Okay, so right behind me is where I also want to put an arch. So this one will be smaller than the one over there, but it will still be kind of like an entryway into the garden. So it's going to be probably a black one, and we're going to try to have some climbing roses or maybe even some clematises on it. So it's going to be like right over here. We're still playing with like the location and the size and the width of it, but I think that'll just be like a really pretty, like, here's the entrance to the garden. Everything is going to just like be I mean, obviously you're going to be able to enter the cut flower garden from any angle, but I think this will just be a really beautiful opening. And at each corner, if we come over here, so at each corner of the cut flower garden, so you can see, again, we still have to do the border. And just a quick note, you guys, if you're looking for like a really good fabric, I totally recommend the one that we use. I'll put a link to it in the description box. It's a lot thicker, it is more expensive, but it is so durable and nothing has been growing through it. Like before, any of the fabrics that we used, it wasn't staying down, it wasn't very durable, it would rip. So I know this looks a little junky right now because it's been raining a lot, it's kind of muddy. But once we lay down our gravel or crushed granite with the border, it's gonna look just gorgeous. I'm so excited about it. But at each corner of the cut flower garden, we're gonna have 4x4s, if I can remember. Yeah, 4x4s. And they're gonna be stained the same color as the beds. And we're gonna hang lights on them. So it's just gonna look really like whimsical. And we love to
10 feet tall.
10 feet tall, that's right. They're gonna be 10 feet tall, and we're gonna hang the lights down a little bit so we can hang out here at night with our friends. We love to utilize the deck, especially during the summertime. And if we actually pan over to the deck, so it's kind of messy, so don't mind that. But we did talk about in another video how we thought about converting the deck into a greenhouse. Now this deck is about 30 feet long. Or more than 30 feet long. Do you know?
No.
About 30 feet long. So, I mean, that would be a really big greenhouse. And so I don't know. We haven't really started exploring that quite yet, but we're going to start here pretty soon. But if we don't end up not converting it into a greenhouse, we'll probably replace the whole deck because it's looking a little old and, outdated. And the house is actually going to be re-sided these next 2 weeks, which we're so excited about. Our contractors are coming. We're going to be doing the batten board. I'm super excited. Our whole house, you know this, we're starting construction on the inside. We're just completely doing like a new build out inside. Our house has 5 bedrooms and 4 full baths. Only one of the bedrooms is completed. Everything else has to be redone. So excited, but super nervous about that. So anyways, let's talk about the trees that we have. So as you guys can see, all of the trees that we have are pretty much in the space that they're gonna be dropped into. We really focused on all 4 seasons. We wanted to have interest for the winter time, for fall time, for summertime and springtime. And I think we accomplished that. And we've just been sitting with these trees for a while to see how we like them. Obviously there are some that we've planted already. We didn't film that, but you guys I think already probably saw those in the ground already. But all of the other ones are getting ready to get planted, which we're going to be doing here soon. So keep an eye out for those videos. The irrigation for the trees, and we'll talk more about this as we plant the trees, but you can see we have them connected to our main irrigation line. And then we added the 1/2 inch tubing around each tree, and each of the tubing around the tree has a emitter holes every 9 inches. So again, they're turned on for about 15 minutes a day. We are very wet over here, so we don't have to water every day, especially now. But this has been such a lifesaver again for watering things. And I feel like the trees are starting to do so much better. In the front, we have the same setup, except we have the 1/4 inch tubing around. Now, Sergey was really adamant about doing the 1/2 inch just because after talking to experts, this is more durable. It doesn't kick off as easily as the other one. It's just a lot more durable. So that's why we went with this setup versus the other way that we have, or connecting the emitters directly to it. This was just, the whole tree is going to get a nice even water with this setup here. But you can see if we look down that way, all of the trees are kind of staggered. We still have to move them a little bit. Don't mind the grass. You can see the grass and the weeds growing. And I'll tell you what, the grass has never grown this good in this backyard. Like, we were like, really? After we ripped everything out, the grass is growing so nicely. But we sprayed some of it. But these trees will be moved back just a smidge. And our kind of thinking for the layout of the trees is we're just staggering them. So like one in the back, one in the middle, but more towards the front. That way we're creating a lot more depth, and it doesn't just look like, you know, a row of trees planted. This magnolia that we planted, I think last spring. So this was the only tree that was in the ground when they were grading. Well, and actually 2 other evergreens that we had just planted last season as well. But she is thriving. I mean, she got big. I won't lie. Like I'm like, okay, she got big kind of quick for us. We weren't like, and even now, my gosh, it really did get big. Oh my gosh. I'm just like noticing how tall it got. I mean, she was a baby when we got her. She wasn't much taller than me. And I'm like, what, 5'4"? Wow. I'm just really like taking it in now, you guys. But magnolias are one of my favorite trees. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. They're fast growing, obviously. This one is. And I just love the copper back. See that? They're perfect to use in winter arrangements, which I will not cut this baby. Like, she is my baby. I will not. What I will do is go to my neighbor's house right over there, and we will cut their magnolia because they like it pruned every winter. So I do the pruning for them, and we actually share a gate with them. So I just plop into their backyard, and then I go prune it, and I use that for my arrangements. And I think I've told you guys, like off topic, but they were like the starters of the Portland or Oregon Fuchsia Society. That's them right here. They're my neighbors, and they're just full of knowledge. I can ask them any question. If you guys ever have fuchsia questions, let me know, and I can pop on over there and ask Verna your questions. So she's really great about that. But one of my favorite views of the garden, if we turn this way, is right here. Like, this is so beautiful to me. Like, ignore the ugly siding, ignore the ugly gutters and the falling fence back there. Just imagine like what the beautiful new dark fence we're gonna have, potentially a greenhouse connected to the house, farmhouse style. Like, isn't that going to be so beautiful? Like, I get so excited, and the flowers just, like, I know this sounds so dumb, but like, I genuinely, like, it makes me so happy. Like, when I see my flowers, I just want to cry. I don't know how something this like small can make such an impact in somebody's life, but it does that for me. So it's really exciting. Oh, before we go, I wanted to show you guys kind of a spotlight over here, and that's our persimmon tree. Look, there's one persimmon in it, so it's gonna be battle of the couple, who's gonna get it, or battle of the spouses, who's gonna get that one lonely persimmon. And it's such a like perfect one. We love persimmons in this house. We actually also love pluots, and we lost all of our pluot trees because of the heat. So we're kind of like babying this guy so much, and Sergey really pruned it nicely. Like we'll have to do a pruning video next season. Sergey's a perfectionist when it comes to pruning. Like, I'm surprised he's not out here with a ruler, but you can see the shape of it is really nice. So we really love that open wine glass shape to our fruit trees. So anyways, I'm super excited about this because once it's in the ground and we get more fruit production, this is one of the most beautiful fruit trees because when nothing is going on in the garden, you just have this tree full of orange fruit, and it's so beautiful. Now, as far as mulch goes, you can see we obviously haven't mulched anything, and we won't until next year because again, there's just still so much work to be done around the house. The shed is also being completely redone on the outside. We still have to move my wood that we're making tables with. So it just like practically and financially, it does not make sense to pull them or bring in mulch right now because I'd rather get all of our big trees in, and then we can start mulching and composting. Again, really amending the soil as we go. And quick little like call out here, the dry well that we installed is working. Like, our gutters are still kind of junky, but the dry well, like, we've had some really rainy days, and it totally like was a good investment, right? Like, I feel like we had to do that. And the French drains that we've installed around the property are also doing really good. We have to add more rocks over here, some more river rocks. So if we come in, you can see like how much it's gone down actually over here. So you can see how like it took quite a big dip, but we'll come in and we're gonna add our own and just raise it up higher, and again mulch, but that will all be done after the fence is redone, and the whole property's fence is going to be done. We don't know when, so but sooner than later, hopefully. But we just want to get the other bigger projects done first. All right, well, I think that wraps up today's video. I think we showed you guys everything, kind of the high level things of what we've got going on. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome. My name is Claudia. Again, I garden here in Oregon, Zone 8B. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. It really helps us out. And yeah, I'm just really excited to continue to show you guys the projects that we're going to be doing. Again, our goal is to finish this house and then in the near future sell it and buy bigger land, more property, and do this on a much bigger scale all over again. But in the meantime, I am so happy with the space that we have. We're learning a lot. We've only scratched the surface of all of the projects that we want to share with you guys, outdoor and indoor. So make sure you stick around. And I think you can hit the notification bell. That way you can get a notification every time we upload a video. So anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.